Hello, everyone. Today, I want to discuss the basics of Medicare. As an elder law attorney, I often get questions about Medicare and what will Medicare cover, what will Medicare not cover, and if Medicare doesn't cover something, then what are the options that I have to pay for somebody's health care? And so I wanted to provide at least an overview regarding some of the basics of Medicare. First of all, in order to be eligible for Medicare, a person has to be 65 years old and eligible for Social Security benefits. There's really no financial reason not to sign up for Medicare when a person turns age 65. There are surcharges that apply if a person does not sign up for Medicare at age 65. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't sign up for Medicare when you turn 65 years old. And then the second piece of that is eligible for Social Security benefits. An individual doesn't have to be receiving Social Security benefits to be eligible for Medicare, but just has to be eligible for it. And so sometimes people wait a little bit longer in order to receive their Medicare benefits or their Social Security benefits, which is fine, but you can still be eligible for Medicare, even though you're not receiving the Social Security benefits. There are several component parts to Medicare. There's Medicare Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, and other parts of Medicare. We're going to talk about Medicare Part A, B, C, and D today. Medicare Part A covers inpatient medical care at a hospital, at a skilled nursing facility, at home, or with hospice care. Medicare Part A covers a spell of illness. A spell of illness is defined as beginning at admission into a facility and then ends when the patient has left the facility for a period of 60 days. In order for there to be a new spell of illness, there has to be 60 consecutive days without receiving skilled care. How much does Medicare cost? Well, most people has worked between 30 and 39. The premium is $252 in 2020. Medicare Part A covers hospitalization, and it depends on how long you stay. That determines how much Medicare will pay. So for days 1 through 60, Medicare will pay everything except the Medicare Part A deductible. In 2020, the deductible is $1,408. Days 61 through 90, Medicare pays everything after that, after a daily deductible, and the daily deductible in 2020 is $352 per day. For days 91 through 150, you have to dip into your lifetime reserve days, which is 62 total. And in that situation, Medicare will pay everything after $704 per day. Medicare Part A has some coverage for a skilled nursing facility, but it's pretty limited. Has to be in a Medicare approved facility, discharge. That hospital admission must have lasted at least 3 days. And then if all of those conditions are met, then Medicare will pay for days 1 through 20, and it will cover everything in those first 20 days after a hospital stay. For days 21 through 100, Medicare Part A will cover everything after $176 per day. That $176 per day is the coinsurance charge. And then from day 101 and forward, Medicare Part A doesn't pay anything. And this is the time at which an elder law attorney sometimes gets involved because Medicare is going to end coverage, but there's still a need for an individual to be in the skilled nursing facility. How are you going to pay for it? Well, an elder law attorney can help you figure that out. Medicare Part A covers some home health services as well. Some requirements for the home health services to be covered by Medicare Part A are as follows. It has to be pursuant to a written plan of care reviewed bi-monthly by a doctor. Services that are covered can include physical, occupational, speech therapy, medical supplies, durable medical equipment, part-time, and intermittent nursing care. Medicare Part A will cover everything except for a 20% copayment on durable medical equipment. And there's an overlap between Medicare Part A and Part B. Part B will cover the services unless the home health services begin within 14 days of discharge from a nursing home or hospital, and when there have been more than 100 visits within a spell of illness. Medicare Part B will cover mostly, but in the limited circumstance of home health services beginning within 14 days of discharge, then Medicare Part A will cover. Medicare Part A also includes hospice coverage. Hospice is a combination of home care and occasional inpatient institutionalization. The purpose of hospice is for pain relief and symptom control. The physician will certify that the patient is not expected to live longer than 6 months. And when hospice is invoked, then the services will include doctors, nursing facilities, home health aides, homemaker services, drugs, counseling, and many more aspects of healthcare are covered here under hospice. Every Medicare beneficiary receives 2 periods of hospice care, each of which is 90 days, and then it can go an additional 60 days. Hospice will pay for everything except 5% or $5 for outpatient drugs and 5% of respite care for up to 5 days. So that's Medicare Part A. Next is Medicare Part B. Medicare Part B covers mostly doctor charges. It covers home health services that are not preceded by a hospital or a nursing home stay. It covers ambulance services, but only if the ambulance service is medically necessary. And there's no coverage for custodial care for assistance with activities of daily living. So that's not covered. Medicare Part B. Medicare Part B is based upon a sliding scale. The cost of it is based upon a sliding scale based upon the income tax return from 2 years prior. The premium for Medicare Part B is $144.60 in 2020 for most people. And then there's an annual deductible for Medicare Part B services. In 2020, it's $198. Then after that deductible, there's a 20-80 split between the patient and Medicare Part B. So after that annual deductible, the patient will pay 20% and the Medicare Part B plan will pay for the other 80%. Then there's Medicare Part C, which is sometimes called Medicare Advantage. This is an alternative to original Medicare. There are 28 unique Medicare Advantage plans in 2020. 97% of the Medicare beneficiaries are able to participate in a Medicare Advantage plan with dental, vision, and hearing benefits. And those benefits aren't typically covered in Medicare Part A or Part B. The cost varies widely from plan to plan, but the average premium for Medicare Part C is $28 per month. And again, the deductibles vary widely, just like the premiums vary from plan to plan. Medicare Part D. Medicare Part D will cover outpatient prescription drugs. In 2020, there were 28 Medicare Part D prescription drug plans. There's really no fixed premium for Medicare Part D. It varies widely, but the basic Part D premium in 2020 is $32.74 per month. And then you get into how does Medicare Part D's coverage work? It works through 4 different phases. So the first phase of Medicare Part D coverage starts with the patient paying up to that yearly deductible, which is $435 per month. So the patient will be responsible for that amount. And then after that, then there's a cost split in phase 2. In phase 2, this cost split is between the Medicare Part D and the patient. And then in phase 3, after $4,020 have been spent, the patient will continue to pay 25% while Medicare Part D pays nothing. So patient will pay 25%, and then the drug manufacturer will pay the other 75%. This was formerly known as the donut hole. And then this phase will last up until the catastrophic limit of $6,350 in 2020. And then after you've eclipsed that, then in phase 4, Medicare will pay 80%, the plan will pay 15%, and then the patient will pay 5% of the prescription drug cost. So Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage is based upon where are you in the phases of the coverage. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and depending on where you are and how much you've paid for your prescription drugs throughout the year, that will determine how much you pay for the next prescription that you need. And then I'm open to any questions that the audience may have. I appreciate you taking the time to look at this webinar and gather some information about Medicare. I'm happy to help. If you have a question that hasn't been answered in this webinar on Medicare basics, feel free to reach out. Vick Law PC. My phone number is 317-884-3133, or you can go to my website, vicklaw.org, and I'll be happy to answer your question, sit down and talk with you about your specific situation.